Hey everyone, Jay Whitner here with Kickstarter Coaching and our internet TV show, Crowdfunding Coverage. We do a quick recap of what's going on in the crowdfunding universe each month, and today we'll be talking about May of 2016. In May, there were 7 big campaigns that brought in $750,000 or more. These big campaigns brought in over $12 million. The largest campaign, bringing in almost half the total revenues of the big campaigns, was the Dark Souls, which was a board game, which we'll talk about later. But first, a little bit of news. This is starting to happen with a good deal of regularity, but another campaign led to VC funding. There was an Indiegogo campaign about a card device that raised roughly $100,000 on the Indiegogo platform. But this $100,000 led to $5 million of venture capital. We're seeing more and more of this. For those of you who have not been keeping up with the equity crowdfunding, after 4 years, the SEC has made all this be legal now, crowdfunding at Title III of the Jobs Act. This is sometimes called crowdfunding for Main Street. There's a whole lot of legislation that the players are sort of working their way through still. If you want a nice summary, the title of this article, Crowdfunding Begins on May 16, 2016. If you put that in quotes and do a Google search, you'll pull up this article by this law firm that seemed to have a reasonably good summary of the basic rules, without bearing you too deep in legal terminology, so check that out. One of the firms that's been engaged in crowdfunding for accredited investors is called AngelList. They've been doing this for a while, and they made an announcement that they are going to open up a sort of a new branch for the Title III crowdfunding called Republic. So that will be kind of interesting because they have, name brand recognition for their prior work and now they're working with accredited investors. So they're going to sort of have 2 departments. AngelList will continue to work with accredited investors, and Republic will work with the Title III crowdfunding for Main Street group. Indiegogo decided to bring in another company in terms of helping some of their tech projects that are launched through the Indiegogo platform called Arrow. So the way they're going to do this is they're going to look, this new company is going to look at high-tech projects and try to evaluate the project and the team and give sort of a thumbs up, thumbs down on their confidence in terms of the team's ability to implement the desired technologies. And when they give a thumbs up, there'll be like a special badge on those campaigns that they've been reviewed for technical feasibility, you might say. So on to the 7 big campaigns. The size range was from about $850,000 to $5.5 million. So there's a big range in the scope of the campaigns themselves. The video length ranged, it was kind of high this time, from 2 minutes 55 seconds up to almost 6 minutes, so a little longer than we normally see. The length of campaigns went from a rather short 21 days to 50 days. Reward levels, well, we had one campaign that had 55 different rewards, which is a little bit frightening. And the updates, they were ranged from 10 to 66 updates for the different campaigns. I tend to think that 1 or 2 updates a week is a good frequency to keep your supporters attuned and informed about what you're doing. So don't have them just sitting there without any feedback in terms of what's going on. That doesn't need a good result. So the campaigns themselves. The first campaign is a theft-proof drawstring backpack. And you might look at this image and say, well, how theft-proof can it be? I've got a pair of scissors in my pocket, a pocket knife or something. They've made all of this out of theft-resistant materials. So although this fabric of the backpack is reasonably soft, it's 5 times as cut resistant as Kevlar. So all the different pieces of what they're using are really optimized for theft resistance, which is a kind of novel idea. Some of the unique aspects of this campaign is they went in some length into the creation story, which, as you might suspect, is the guy had his stuff stolen from his backpack because it wasn't secured enough. So he's developed this product to address that. They also had a media kit, which allows them to put all the things about their campaign that they really want to provide primarily just to the media in one place without cluttering up the rest of the campaign. They also had early bird delivery. So people that back the campaign earlier can get the head of the line in terms of deliveries of the backpacks when they go into production. Next, we have a board game called This War of Mine, which is sort of the experience of being in a war situation as a non-combatant. How do you try to survive through what's going on all around you? This campaign had some interesting attributes. It had some add-on features. This is usually good because it lets you have a low base price, and then people add on just the things that they want. They had an autographed edition. And you might think to yourself, well, it's a lot of my 4 friends of mine, and none of us are movie stars, and who cares about our autographs on the thing? But believe it or not, a lot of the time people are very interested in the autographs of the creators of the project. So don't discount the possibility of having your team sign or otherwise personalize something for the backers. They also had a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy with it, get your money back. This is something that I'd like to see more of in the crowdfunding universe, is the focus on customer satisfaction. And it's good business. It leads to more sales. Next, we have a unique camera lens that is designed to make artistic photos, which you'll have to look at the campaign. I don't want to take the time to try to describe the attributes of the lens. But obviously, since it's included in our listing here, they were very successful. They brought in a lot of money for their campaign. And the campaign was really voluminous, lots and lots of information about the lenses and history of the lenses, images of lenses and photographs taken using them. So it really was a lot of information about their product. They did low serial numbers was one of the things that they did. So they assigned a price premium to low serial number lenses. So like if you wanted to have the serial number on your lens be like the 5th lens made, okay, you can get that, and there's a price premium associated with getting that. Next, we have the Mr. Bean 2. This is something we're seeing a lot more of in the maker space in Kickstarter and Indiegogo. That in addition to the 3D printers, we're now seeing a decent number of these laser cutters and engravers. So you put something in, and you have an automated computer that will burn an image into your thing, or cut, like you could cut a jigsaw puzzle out of something. So this is the Mr. Bean 2. The 2 would clue in, and they did Mr. Bean 1. Whenever you have a follow-on campaign, it's a big advantage because you have hopefully happy backers, happy supporters from your prior campaign to draw on. So some of the things they did in their campaign is they had stretch goals for extra features for their device. They used several of those GIFs, the many videos, to good effect to show the machine in action and what it can do. And they also had an area for all the technical specifications of the machine, how big the objects can be and how strong the laser is and things like that. So if you have a product that is on the techie side, by all means, share enough of the information so that people understand what they're buying. Tech. This is a game. It's kind of an unusual game. There was an author wrote a fictional book And in this fictional universe of the book, characters were playing this game. The game did not exist in real life. So these people, I guess they really were captivated by the book, and they thought, somebody should make this game. So they took this game from this fictional universe and brought it to the world through crowdfunding, which is kind of a neat idea. The game is called TAC. So some of the things that they did in their campaign is they certainly tied in with the author and the universe and the fan base of the book, because that was a big tool for them in getting started. They also had add-ons, so they had different levels of the game in terms of what quality of pieces you want. Maybe you want fancier pieces or fancier board, things like that. They had stretch goals that were not financial in nature. Normally in a campaign, you see something like, if the campaign is $500,000, we'll add this, we'll add that. In this case, instead of financial things, it was support things. If we get X thousand backers or this many likes on Facebook or something, we'll add XYZ to the campaign. They also had some nice reviews. They had a section for people's feedback on the game. So if you are far enough along in your development process that you really have your more or less final product, you can show it to some people and get their feedback. Include that in your campaign information. It's third-party validation that what you made is fun, cool, or useful. Next, we have the Flux electric bike. We've been seeing more electric bike types, electric personal transport devices in the crowdfunding universe, and these people have what appears to be a pretty cool electric bicycle. Some of the unique things they did in their campaign is use the GIFs, the mini videos, to good effect. It's a movable kind of a product, so it makes sense to have those little videos to work with to help explain and show it. They had 3 distinct models. This is a fundamental strategy, if it's economically feasible, to offer your product in a couple of colors or a couple of models if you can. So like in these people's example of these bicycles, they had some bicycles that were like designed sort of for city touring, and they had some like for mountain biking kind of things. So this gives you different markets to sort of target and attract. They also had a button to sign up for their email list. So this gives you the ability to get email lists of people that came to your campaign page and were interested, but didn't buy anything. Now, if you're starting up a business, this is data that you want to capture, and you can. So if you haven't been through the process before, if you do a Kickstarter campaign and it is successful, at the end of it, you get the email lists of the people that backed your campaign. But unless you take action, like these people did, you don't get email addresses for people who came to your campaign page and looked around but didn't buy it. So these people want to capture that information, and maybe they can offer them the product 6 months from now. Maybe their financial situation has changed or something. So this is a good idea. Capture those emails. The big campaign of the month was Dark Souls. This was a board game that did very, very well. They raised over $5 million to do this game. Lots of unique aspects of their campaign, really too many to go into in our format, but they had 76 stretch goals. I don't keep a list. That may be the highest number of stretch goals I've seen. I can't remember the answer to that, but lots and lots of stretch goals. And something I had not seen before, I don't think, they had stretch goals for retailers specifically. So like if a certain number of retailers were involved in the project, they would then offer a stretch goal that was targeted for the retailers. That was new, and I think a good idea if that's a big part of your objective is to get the retailers on board, which it certainly seemed to be in their interest to do that. They had some gifts they used in a decorative way. Instead of using it to show the product, it just was a pretty motion video inside the thing. It was just decorative in nature. That was kind of different. They offered the game in 5 languages, so you could order the game in your native language. If you have a product that you think has really an international attractiveness to it, consider this whole language thing. I've seen some campaigns, the campaign itself is in different languages, and in this case, where the product can be ordered in different languages. So consider that if you have an international campaign. That's it for May. Thanks for hanging out with us and hearing our show for May of 2016. We'll be back in about a month talking about what happens in June. So enjoy the beginnings of summer, and we'll talk to you then. Take care.